Materials are all around us, from the smallest chip in the lab to the huge solar panels in the fields. This is a show about the development of new materials and the way they can radically change our lives. I'm Alessandra, community builder of Material Pioneers. We will introduce you to researchers in many different fields, such as energy, data, deep tech, and even more, to discover the secrets of the development of new materials and the way they can change our world. Welcome, everybody. We're here today for the new episode of Material Pioneers Interviews. We have Rachel Barr together with us. She's the Vice President of Sustainability at UBQ Materials. Welcome, Rachel.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It's very nice to be able to talk about this new incredible material. So I read a lot about this new material, and it sounds like it's recycled material that can be recycled again. So that's why it was very interesting for me to read about it. Can you talk a little bit about the material itself and what it is?
The main properties of this material are household waste that's unsorted. We only take material that can't otherwise be recycled. So that means we don't have any plastic that can be recycled here in Israel, glass, aluminum, metals that can be recycled. It's only the dirty diapers, the chicken bones, the garden waste, and obviously a lot of plastic packaging as well. And what we do is we then convert that into UBQ, which is it's a composite thermoplastic, but it's also bio-based, which means it's more than 50% organic material because that's a composition of municipal solid waste. And it is recyclable, as you mentioned, which is important because it's not just 100% recycled content, it also is recyclable via conventional channels of recycling, which we think is critical.
Yes, well, definitely. And since at Material Pioneers, we always talk about, properties, but also technical development. We also want to know what is the technology behind UBQ, the thing that you, of course, can disclosure.
So it's hard to talk about because just like with KFC, we don't talk about the special sauce or anything like that. But I can say that in some fields, launching in beta is great, but that isn't the case with the materials industry. And so UBQ was established in 2012, but we only launched commercially in 2019. We did that for a number of reasons, but in large part because we knew we only had one opportunity for a first impression. And we wanted to make sure that all of our sustainability assets could be developed, and not just developed, but also verified by third parties. As a result of this, our processes and our materials are fully patented worldwide, but also our claims are vetted. And that's really important to us.
Yes, well, definitely. And about the claiming part, I mean, you say that UBQ is a sustainable but also climate positive material. So some of us might not really be aware of what climate positive means.
Sure.
How is it possible that a material is climate positive?
So I'll walk you through this. I'm a climate change economist, so this is one of my favorite topics. So household waste, which is our feedstock, is largely made out of organics. And this sounds innocent, but the waste, when it decomposes, it releases methane in the landfills. When we divert that waste and make it into UBQ, we're preventing the emission of these methane, of this methane. And as a result, even with the conversion process, which by the way is very, very low energy, on par with the carbon footprint of converting waste into UBQ is on par with conventional recycling. We still prevent more emissions than we create in the process of making UBQ, to the tune of 11.7 tons of CO2 equivalent is prevented per ton of UBQ that we make. And just so you understand, about 1.3 tons of solid waste, of municipal solid waste, goes into each ton of UBQ, and the differential between those two, because we don't have any additives like water, effluents, chemicals, we don't have any waste as a result of this process either. It's all just lost in moisture. So the 1.3 tons goes to 1.0 tons as a result of just the conversion process.
Wow, this sounds climate positive.
It is, and I'm really. It's super exciting. It's why I chose to work at UBQ.
Yeah, and exactly on this topic. I mean, there are a lot of we work with a lot of startups and research groups that are trying to develop new materials, of course. So I'm going to ask you, which are 3 tips that you will give to R&D companies and startups that are trying to develop climate positive material?
I'm going to answer this as both a climate change economist and an industrial economist. So I would say the most important thing is that for a material to be sustainable today, it also has to be economically viable. And that means, by and large, it has to be economically competitive. People often think when they talk about sustainability only about the environmental sustainability, but it also has to be socially sustainable and economically sustainable. And exorbitant pricings are a huge barrier for adopting any new material. So that's the first thing. So make it economically competitive. The second thing I would say is think about circularity. It isn't enough just to make a material that is made out of upcycled waste. For us, it was equally as important that this waste could be recycled again and again. And conventional plastics, actually, they degrade over time with each loop of their recycling. UBQ is unique because it's based primarily on organic materials, that every time it's looped through the recycling process, we did up to, I believe, 6 rounds without seeing a material decay of the properties of UBQ, and that helps enhance the circularity of the product. So a sustainable material should also be circular, truly circular, and that means you have to be able to reuse it again and again. And the third thing I would say is third-party verification. It's greenwashing is a huge problem in this industry. Saying something is a sustainable material, you can say anything's sustainable, right? I'm just saying it and therefore it's true. No, you must have social clout. To have social clout, it requires third-party verification, and we do that in a number of ways. But I believe that other companies will have more adoption if they have these third-party verifications, because then it's not just someone saying, well, we believe this material to be sustainable. What does that mean? Well, have someone verify it for you.
Nice. So thank you so much. These are 3 very valid tips and very practical tips. Thank you so much for this interview, and definitely reach out to you again.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, and see you soon.
Bye now.